Still a long 2.5 or 3 yards there. And it's intercepted.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And my continuing series of possible selections the Giants can have at draft choice number 11 in this year's draft. We come up to DeVonta Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. And what a season he had. 117 catches. He had 23 touchdowns. He had 1,856 yards receiving. He averaged almost 16 yards of reception. And if that's not impressive enough, he also, was the Heisman Trophy winner. When Waddle got hurt, when Waddle broke his ankle against Tennessee, I believe Smith started stepping in and returning some punts. So he returned 11 punts this year and took one of them to the house. He also, I think, took a kickoff too as well. So he can return kicks, return punts. And he's a pretty good wide receiver as well. In the championship game against Ohio State alone, before he dislocated his finger, he had 12 receptions. This is all in the first half. 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then I think he got his finger caught in the uniform of a Ohio State player, and he wound up dislocating it. And they took him into the tent and had him in there for 25 minutes, and the doctor was trying all he could to try to pop it back into place, but he just couldn't do it. Apparently, unfortunately, the only way for them to get it back in place was it was going to require surgery. So, unfortunately, luckily for them, they didn't need his services the rest of the game. But what a first half he had. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, he's, the very, very few bad points, though. One of them is, obviously, is his size. He's 6'1", nice size. I mean, I've seen him, one of the catches he caught this year, he went up, he got his hand, one-handed it, brought it in as he falling to the ground in the end zone. I mean, he just catching, dragging his feet. I mean, doing almost everything. The route running, the acceleration, the stop and go is just phenomenal. But he's only 175 pounds. So whoever is going to draft him is going to need to put him in the right position to be successful in the NFL. I don't think he's just because, he's got phenomenal stats and he's the Heisman Trophy winner and he's fast and all. He just can't okay, well, you go out there and you just run a flag pattern or run a post pattern or do a curl or do a 10 and out and we'll just hit you. That's not, Alabama used him to his strength. Alabama found ways to get him into space where he can do his thing. Now, Jason Garrett, if we were to draft him, is going to have to do the same. I mean, he's going to have to think of ways to use him to his strength where you can just get him into space and let him do his thing. Now, to Jason Garrett's credit, last year he didn't have a heck of a lot to work with Daniel Jones being his second year. The offensive line was a little inconsistent, to say the least. Our best player played one game for the most part. Evan Ingram, dropped a lot of passes. So it's Sterling Shepard, Slayton had kind of an off year. So I mean, we didn't have a well of a lot to work with last year. So I mean, Jason Garrett, to his credit, he didn't have a well of a lot. We got a little bit more. We got Saquon coming back. We got Golladay. If we would draft DeVonta Smith, he would have more stuff to work with. But he'd have to find a way to get him in the space and let him do his thing. You need an Andy Reid kind of mind where you're just like a professor. You go down into your dungeon and you just draw up different plays. You gotta think outside the box. I mean, the way Alabama was just able to use him time and time again just to get him the ball, get him in space, and just let him do his thing was just phenomenal. I remember there was a play, it was in a championship game against Ohio State. They were down around the 10-yard line, getting ready to go and score. And you can see DeVonta Smith was he was out wide. He was coming in motion. You can see a guy from Ohio State was just mirroring him. Well, then DeVonta Smith, stopped, took a couple steps this way, and you can see the other guy from Ohio State, because the other guy from Ohio State, he's going back the other way. So he stopped, started going this way, and he's like, I'm going to get the jump on him. So he started picking the pace up. So started going out this way, and then just about then, that's when DeVonta Smith stopped again and went back this way, and he got a couple steps on the guy, and by the time the guy tried to catch up, that's all he needed. DeVonta Smith had a couple steps on him. He got out of the backfield. Mac Daddy Jones hit him in the pass, and he went in for a touchdown. All you need is just a couple of steps. You got to find a way to put him in the best position possible for him to be successful. Got to get him in space. Try to get a couple steps on a defender. Get him the ball. Let him do his thing. You just can't, line him up and just let him run patterns the whole time. I don't think he's, the pros are too good for that. When you're playing colleges, a lot of the guys he's playing against in college aren't going to the pros. All the guys in the pros are pretty good. The defensive coordinators in the pros are pretty good. So they'll find ways, to keep them covered, to shut them down, and, maybe put a few hits on them. And at 175 pounds, you're not going to need many hits before, you start hurting. Just a couple down bad points to him, but, other than that, he's an absolutely phenomenal human being. Phenomenal athlete. And the Giants were to get him, you couldn't be, that upset. I would be happy. They have more pressing needs, but if they were to get the Heisman Trophy winner, you couldn't be that bummed out. But just because he's fast and just because he's the Heisman Trophy winner does not mean success in the pros. He's fast. Well, okay, great. Well, Henry Ruggs is fast too. How did Henry Ruggs do this past year for the Raiders? Henry Ruggs ran a 4.27. Henry Ruggs had 26 catches this year for two touchdowns. Pretty impressive, huh? How about John Ross? John Ross is on our team. John Ross ran a 4.22 at the combine. That's pretty fast, huh? How's John Ross doing? How are his stats? Well, if his stats were pretty good, he'd still be on Cincinnati. They're not that good. That's why the Giants have got him for $2 million a year. So just because you're fast doesn't mean you're going to be successful. And then as far as he's the Heisman Trophy winner, okay, fine, great. Well, let us not forget, this year, the Giants are drafting 11th. Let us not forget 2000, the NFL draft, 2000. The Giants were drafting number 11. And with the number 11 pick, you ask, they drafted the Heisman Trophy winner. They got Ron Dayne. Oh, yeah. How did Ron Dayne's work out? Not too good. So, just because you're a Heisman Trophy winner does not guarantee you success in the pros. Ron Dayne, his first year with us, yeah, I mean, we went to the Super Bowl that year. I mean, of course, the offense didn't score a point in the Super Bowl, but, we had a good championship game. We won 41-0 against the Vikings. I'll never forget that one. That was a good freaking ass whooping, too. But Ron Dayne had almost 800 yards rushing his rookie year, and it was thunder and lightning. Ron Dayne and Tiki Barber had a pretty good backfield. But his first year, he had 770 yards. His second year, I think he was just shy of 700 yards. His third year, he went down 400 yards. I think the last year that the Giants had him was 2004. He had I think it was the first year Coughlin was here, and he only had 100 yards or 200 yards, and then we got rid of him. One of the biggest things I remember from Ron Dayne, one of the most successful things I remember from Ron Dayne, was in 2005 when he was with the Broncos after he left the Giants. On Thanksgiving Day, he had a pretty good game against the Cowboys, and the Broncos beat the Cowboys in 2005 on Thanksgiving Day game, 24-21. Ron Dayne only had 7 carries, but he had 98 yards, he had a touchdown, and one of them was a 55-yarder. So he had a pretty good game. That's one of the most memorable moments I have of Ron Dayne, is when he was with the Broncos. Then he finished his career with the Texans. He had 2 years with the Texans, which he didn't do too badly, but I mean, all in all, when he left college, he was the best. Well, he rushed for the most yards of any running back in Division I. He rushed for over, with his bowl games, he rushed for over 7,000 yards in his career. So that's pretty impressive. Same thing with DeVonta Smith's. His stats, pretty impressive. Just because you're the Heisman Trophy winner does not guarantee you success in the pros. And if he's not put in the right system, he's a very good athlete. He's a very good football player. He'll have some success. Almost, if he's not put in the right system, he'll have some success. If he's put in the right system, with the right coach, all right, the right offense, okay, he might have a very good career. But once again, there's wild cards. Jamar Chase is going first. I think Pitts might even go second. So now you got who's going to go, Smith or Waddle. I think Smith will be the third one off the board, and I think Waddle will be last. So it all depends. How many quarterbacks are going to go? Sewell, Slater, are they going to go? Micah Parsons, is he going to go? How many of the wide receivers are going to go before it gets to us? What do the Cowboys do? Do they try to take an offensive lineman? Do they try to take Surtain? Who knows? Too many wild cards, but Smith could get to us. If he does, we'll see. I mean, if we wind up taking him, I won't be that bummed out. We have other pressing needs, but if we do get him, I won't be that bummed out. We still, we have other needs we can address, maybe the second round and the third round and all. But I said, just a total wild card. You have no idea how many quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10. Any trade's going to go on. But we'll see. So then tomorrow, I'm going to finish off the wide receiver with Jamar Chase, the big guy. And I don't think he's going to get to us, but I'll do a video on him anyway. Well, as always, people, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo!